We have a product rule, which says that if we're multiplying an expression with a radical by another, what we will do is we will simply multiply these numbers on the outside, or the coefficients, together. And then we will also multiply those numbers inside, or the radicands, together under the same index, keeping them under the index. Of course, we always want to be sure our final answer is reduced. Let's take a look at some examples where we multiply the outside numbers and the inside numbers, and then make sure our final answers are reduced. In this problem, we can multiply the outside numbers 4 times 2 to get 8. Underneath the square root, we can multiply the numbers under the square root. 6 times 15 to get 90. We must be sure our final answer is reduced, so we'll find the prime factorization of 90 by dividing by 2, 3, 3, and 5. And we find out that 90, its prime factorization is 2 times 3 squared times 5. This means we can pull a 3 out by dividing the exponent 2 by 2, and we have 1 3 coming out. 8 times 3 is 24, and inside the square root, 2 times 5 is 10. Let's take a look at another example of a higher root that we can multiply together using this same method, and then reduce our final answers. Again, in this problem, because it's all multiplication, we'll multiply those numbers outside the square root. Negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. And then inside the fourth root, we'll multiply our numbers together as well. 8 times 10 is 80. Of course, before we call this our final answer, we must find the prime factorization of 80 to see if we can pull anything out of this root. 80 is divisible by 2 40 times, 2 20 times, 2 10 times, 2 5 times, and 5 1 time. We now have negative 21 times the fourth root of the prime factorization, or 2 to the fourth times 5. Notice we can divide the exponent by the index. 4 divided by 4 tells us one of this number's coming out, or 1 2 comes out of the radical. Multiplying this by the negative 21, our final answer is negative 42 times the fourth root of 5. When multiplying, we multiply the outside numbers, keeping them outside, and the numbers inside the radical, and keep them inside the radical.